We keep slipping on the exact same banana peel. I love it when I'm right, and this is going to prove some of the things that I've been saying all along.
Mayor of New York City recently came out and said back in 2009, when he applied to Columbia University, he marked as a black/African American. Columbia, like many elite universities, used a race-conscious affirmative action admissions program at the time, reporting that his race was black or African American in addition to Asian could have given an advantage to Mr. Mamdani, who was born in Uganda. And this is why the OMB, the Office of Management and Budget, the organization that's over the racial and ethnic identifiers in America, needs to get it right. Black/Black Americans are a specific ethnicity found in America. We were reclassified to black on the very first United States Census record in
Okay, this is our fault. I'm not even feeling bad for anyone. I've always said I have an issue with this whole people of color thing. I would rather, if you're black, you're black. If you're Asian, you're Asian. If you're Indian, you're Indian. Like, my thing is not necessarily dividing people, but I just don't like this people of, African descent, or just say black. And this is now causing a problem. Kamala Harris did it. Now Zohan is doing it, but it's our fault. It's our own doing. Everybody else is always trying to jump on the civil rights agenda. Let it just be its own thing. Anyone that has a movement or is trying to advance themselves for any inequalities, just start your own movement. Don't always equate it and say this is the civil rights movement of our time. So we're getting exactly what we asked for, but now we don't like it.
1790 up until 1860, prior to the Civil War, prior to the end of the Civil War, we was black on paper. If you can't find that in your family tree, if none of your ancestors was reclassified on black with the U.S. Census from 1790 through 1865, you are not a black American. We need to be protected and respected as a peculiar ethnic group, just like the Native Americans in America. Our lineage, our bloodline, our ethnicity built America, built the White House, designed
Yeah,
Capitol
yeah,
Hill.
yeah, 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 yeah. See, this whole "we built America" thing, I get it. And these are the things, these are the problematic things that we keep saying that aren't actually useful. They don't advance us. What we need to be doing is building stronger families, building stronger communities. That way we can contribute, and we already do. But if we keep dwelling on what happened in the past, yes, it impacts our current situation. But if we dwell on that and keep complaining about that, and that's how it comes across to a lot of people, it doesn't advance us. When you look at other races or ethnic groups, a lot of them have no political power, but they're doing well. Why? Because they have stable and strong families, and they are building out their communities. They're supporting each other. They're not just getting so hung up and caught up on, well, when we first came to this country, XYZ. This is why a lot of more recent immigrants, even black immigrants that have come to America, this is why they actually do better than a lot of black Americans. It's not because of systematic racism, it's because of the family structure. Until we get that bit, we're always going to have problems. And for real, a lot of families are doing a great job at this. A lot of black Americans are doing a spectacular job. But then a lot of them turn around and make it look as if, no one can make it except for them. So what we need to do is celebrate black success. We need to recognize it. We need to stop alienating black people within our community that don't think the way we do. We just need to all be individuals, but part of a collective.
DC, shout out to Benjamin Banneker. We did this with free labor. Our bloodline is very specific.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So we got to talk about the New York City communist that is the Democrat nominee for mayor, Zoran Mondami. And the reason why we got to talk about this guy once again is because he's facing some backlash. He's in hot water because of his college application to Columbia, in which he identified as a so-called African American, right? He said that he is African American on his college application. And some people are finding this to be controversial and at the very least misleading.
The Democrats' new nominee to be the mayor of New York City, Mr. Mamdani, clearly despises America and everything that we stand for. Full-blown communist, also a racist, by the way. And
we don't need to do the name calling, but as far as the labeling, he considers himself a democratic socialist. A lot of his views or a lot of his policies do align with communist policies, for whatever you think of those. As far as him being a racist, I try not to use the word racist because it's, again, just a silly word that is meant to cause division. So he has a lot of views that if he were a white man, he was to say the exact same thing about other races, people would be attacking him. I don't think attacking people based on their color is the way that we should be going. I don't think that we should be putting policies in place to advance one race at the detriment of another race. I think what we need to be focused on is making sure that we have the best people in roles. And when you come out with a policy that is all about saying, well, white neighborhoods are benefiting more from, from the economy than others, I think that that's problematic. But what I also think is that we need to have politicians that we hold to account. If we're supporting them just because they're against someone else, which is what's happening a lot right now that we have the Trump administration in place, all of the wins are just overlooked because people don't like Trump. And it was the same thing when Biden was president. A lot of the things that he did that were positive, that were moving the country forward, the Republicans didn't like just because it was Biden. We need to call balls and strikes, and that's what I try to do.
it turns out that when he applied for Columbia University, he described himself as being black and African American because his parents happened to be in Uganda when he was born.
Okay. So he did an interview on Thursday, and he said he did this with the New York Times. He said he did not consider himself black or African American, but rather an American who was born in Africa. He said his answer.
That's what's so silly about that term. And people attacked Elon, and there was a big joke that the richest man in the world is an African American because Elon Musk is from South Africa, which is Africa, and he is in America. So technically, to some people's mind, he is African American. But people keep leaning into this thing, and they only use it when it's convenient for them. And this is why, I say it and I'll keep saying it. Let's just base people on their merit. Let's just hire people based on their merit. Sometimes you do need to track how many people are in a particular role. I get the tracking, but when people use it deceptively to gain advantage, then it's not serving its purpose. And this is what part of this conversation about DEI is about. When you're categorizing and making it that we need a certain amount of Black people, a certain amount of bald people, we need a certain amount of any given thing, then people are going to manipulate that. What we want to do is see who can perform best in this role. We need to make it available to as many people as possible so that there's a diverse pot. But as far as who we select, it should be based on who's best for the role and who can actually deliver the best performance.
On the college application were an attempt to represent his complex background, given the limited choices before him, and not to gain an upper hand in the admissions process. He was not accepted to Columbia, we should also add. So maybe he should call Elizabeth Warren and see how this worked out for her. But she did use it to get ahead. So, maybe there's a difference there.
What are you? Are you Arab, Indian? What are you? You look ambiguous. You look weird. You look weird. What the fuck are you?
I'm an Indian, Ugandan, New Yorker.
Okay, so you're African American. So would you claim the African American status like Elon Musk?
No, I would not.
Why not? You're African, but you're African, right? I knew you grew up there.
I am.
Your middle name is Kwame.
I am. I'm proud to be Ugandan.
Okay.
But I think that is misleading.
So would you claim the African American status like Elon Musk?
No, I would not.
Why not? You're African, but you're African, right? I knew you grew up there.
I am.
Your middle name is Kwame.
I am. I'm proud to be Ugandan.
Okay.
But I think that is misleading.
And were the Indian Ugandans colonialists, or did you come happy? Did you come to fuck shit up, or did you come in peace?
We came in peace.
And I know your father's a professor.
My father's a professor. My family came from Gujarat to Uganda about 200 years ago.
So the caste system, what are you? Like Brahmin? Are you like are you like untouchable? What are you? You look a little light skinned.
I'm somewhere in the middle.
Okay, so you're a piece of shit.
Yeah. So this dude admitted in an interview just a few months ago that yeah, it would be misleading for me to identify as an African American. So he knows. Now again, did he know at the time in which he was applying to
See,
college
this
that
is it. This is it right there. And that interview encapsulates it quite well. It explains the problem that you have with these labels quite often. And people will use the label when it will benefit them, but when it's something that's going to disadvantage them, then they'll use another label. And this is pretty much what Kamala Harris did. And we celebrate this. That's the problem. I don't necessarily blame the individuals. I blame the public for not critically thinking. We're looking for a thing, and when we find someone that represents that thing, we're all for it. Well, that's it for me today. I want to know what you think about this. I think this guy has some interesting ideas and not interesting good, but I do think he should be mayor because I do think that by putting it out in the public for everyone to see how these ideas work in action, I think that's the best way of fighting against it. As long as he can be the opposition and say, I would do this and I would do that, and this is how it would work, then people will always entertain that thought. But when it's actually put in place and people see how catastrophic it is, then we can make a decision. I don't want the pendulum to swing too far in the other direction, but I do think we need to find some suitable middle ground. So tell me what you think. Make sure you like, subscribe, make sure that you share this with people, make sure that you shout out the Black Conservative Perspective, where I get a lot of the content.